Hello, kings and queens. I apologize in advance because 80% of this video is unfocused. So I'm so sorry. I have literally nothing but apologies. But hopefully it's not too much of a distraction. That's just what it is. I can't re-record it. It's not natural. So yes, I love you. Enjoy the Q&A. Bye. Hi guys. That's just a pile of clothes. Please disregard this. That might have made it worse. Hello there. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Bailey. I'm sorry, I have this better. Hello y'all, welcome back to my channel. How we doing? Today's video is my very ever first Q&A. I've always been one of those people that if I put like ask me questions on my Instagram, nobody would ever reply. And this time a few people replied, so I'm really grateful that I can actually do a Q&A. Just like post a cute little Q&A video. I really wanted to make a video for you guys, but I mostly do like vlogs and stuff like that, and I just don't have anything too interesting in my life right now going on. I even tried to think of like funny story times that I can tell you guys, and I literally can't think of absolutely anything. I just really felt like the Q&A was a good place to just figure shit out. So let me wet my beauty blender and let's just get straight to the questions. I decided to do a get ready with me Q&A because for me personally, I'm just that kind of person that I think better when I'm also doing. I think well whenever I'm not doing, but I think really well when I'm kind of like multitasking. I wanted to do something with my hands. Also, ignore this fat ass juicy pimple in my eyebrow. I get them when I get stressed. Anyways, first question. What is your fave performance style? I don't necessarily know exactly what that means, if I'm gonna be honest. I looked up performance styles earlier today because like I really wanted to like answer this correctly. Theater, like I've done theater for so long, so like I love going to the theater. I don't know, performance style, like ballet, like theater, like musical theater, or like a play. But I'm gonna say live theater because of the fact that I just feel so much nostalgia whenever I watch like people in theater. And every time I start my makeup, ouch, owie, that I have never tweezed something and it hurt in so long. Every time I start my makeup, I always moisturize my face and I prime because I'm more prone to dry skin. I also tweeze my eyebrows before I do my makeup. It's become a thing recently now more than ever. Taking my Rem Beauty primer. Next question. What is a skill you're currently building? I'm currently trying to build my like creativity, and that feels a little broad, but honestly, like I'm trying to build my creativity in any sense I can, because technically anything is creative, but I've been really trying to like work on I feel like creativity is a skill. Like no one can just write a song or write a script or record a podcast. You really have to like use your creativity when it comes to like doing makeup. You know what I mean? I really feel like there's a lot of outlets to creativity, and of course there's different skills that are intertwined in creativity, but I really feel like creativity within itself. I feel like I'm really trying to work on my singing. I've been singing for years, and I really enjoy singing and I love it so much. And a skill I'm really trying to work on is just like writing and singing, like writing my own music and singing it and be able to make it at some point by myself. I'm really just trying to work on my musical craft and just kind of like the voice I want to have and the kind of brand I want to build around my music. I really just want to like work on the skill of like having a vision and being able to craft it. And in ways that I can control right now is through like my YouTube and my podcast and kind of like what I post on Instagram, even TikTok. So like those are kind of outlets of creativity for me that I'm trying to make sure that it's like a muscle. Like I can't go a day without creating, kind of, you know? And I feel like that's also how you gain a skill. You just do it every single day, and little by little it becomes like something that you master. So that's honestly what I'm trying to do with my creativity. I'm trying to just work on it every single day, little by little, and then be able to implement it into my daily life without me having to think about it. A skill I'm working on is building my creativity, for sure. For sure. Like, why am I talking like that? Oh, and I use the REM Beauty foundation. I don't recommend any other foundation on this earth. Granted, I haven't tried much, but this one's probably the best I've had in like forever. How do you grieve the loss of a future you've been imagining? How do you grieve? That's the thing, like, I don't think you should grieve it though. The future hasn't happened, right? It's unpredictable, and it is, you know, we can plan for the future as much as we want, but it's never something that we expected. Of course we can manifest things. Of course we can create and bring things to fruition if we like talk to God about it and we manifest it and we really channel what it would feel like to be in the presence of that situation, that relationship, that career, whatever, you know. I really truly feel like we can manifest and create our own lives. So, and even people that, like, the example I was going to say, even people that have children. So say you wanted to be like a successful musician, but then you had a kid at like 20, you know? You don't have to give up that dream just because you had a kid. And I hate sounding like just because a kid is a big freaking deal. Like, of course, like the rest of your life will be dedicated to that child. But I feel as though that if you have a dream, keep chasing it. Like, you know, just because your life looks a certain way now does not mean that it'll look like this forever. And if you are really determined for the kind of future that you are imagining and desiring and creating, like mentally, then like it can happen. It can still happen, especially if you're, I don't even say especially if you're young, if you're at any freaking age, like whatever you truly desire, it can happen. And you really just have to, like, you know what, life feels weird right now. I don't know what the future holds right now. I don't know exactly what to do in this very moment right now, but I know how I want to end up. I know where I want to be. I know where I want to go. So even though it doesn't look as I imagined right now, this does not change the entire future of your life, you know? And like, if it's something unfortunate, like a death or something, even still, like, I guess, I don't want to say like, I don't want to say things like this because I don't want it to bring it to light, but it's true. Like if you envisioned like maybe marrying someone and then they end up like breaking up with you or dying is crazy. You know what I mean? And then like you imagine this whole future with them, and you imagine this whole like life that you would create with them, and then it ended up not being that person. I don't think that you should just drop that imagination. I think that you could still fulfill that future with that person. I think you should still fulfill that desirable relationship and that desirable future. It just won't be that person, or maybe it will. You don't know. That's the thing about the future, is like you shouldn't grieve the loss of a future you are imagining because the future hasn't even happened, and therefore like you can't even say that you're grieving it, that it's gone, because it hasn't happened and you don't know. Like if it's a relationship and it's like, oh, they broke up with me, like I imagine starting a family with them, I imagine like building a foundation with them, it's like it clearly wasn't meant to be them, you know? And it clearly, like, you were given those thoughts and you were given those imaginations for a reason. You were given those imaginations because you were supposed to have them. You were supposed to be the one to imagine them. I don't have the same imaginations as you, you know? And we all don't share the same desires and dreams. They might be similar, but they're all uniquely ours. So I just think, like, don't lose hope, because to me, you saying, how do you grieve the loss of a future you're imagining, is you essentially saying you're losing hope. whatever the case is, whether it be in a career relationship, whatever the case is, even financially, that means that you are losing hope. I don't want to say you've completely lost it because I don't know your personal situation, but it sounds and looks to me like you're losing faith. And I never, ever, 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 ever want anyone to ever lose faith within themselves. No matter how bad things look, you should never lose hope. Of course, like if you wanted to be a dancer and then you lose a leg, like, yeah, that's something that needs shifting. But there's still a future that is so bright and so big that you can't even imagine it. Like there are some things in life that we imagine is going to be like the best thing for us, or when I reach this point I'm going to be so excited and so happy and everything. But like realistically, truly, I feel like that we are given, if we truly follow our path and we dedicate time to God and ourselves and loving ourselves and loving our family and being a good person, I really do feel like the futures we desire are so much bigger than we can even imagine. Like I feel like we imagine things to be like, oh, I just really want to be a homeowner one day, or oh, I just really want to save some lives and just be a doctor. Oh, I just really want to make people feel good when they listen to my music. Like those are very humble sized goals. I just feel like what we put out will give back in tenfold, but we have to have hope. You just have to be hopeful. And you can't lose sight of the fact that you and your future are not just gone with the wind just because a significant thing happened. Always have hope. What is the most effective lesson you learned in 2024 that you now apply to your daily life? I feel like last year I learned, this is a hard one. I feel like last year I learned that you can't, what I want to say is like, because last year my whole thing was don't chase, attract, which I still believe. Don't like chase for your future husband. Don't feel like you have to chase every single opportunity that comes to you because it came to you, you know, and now you have to do it. Like, I feel like what I've learned last year that I'm applying to my daily life now is the fact that you need assertive action. You need to do something even in the slightest, littlest amount every single day. And as you do it every single day, it just grows and grows and grows and becomes a new habit. But I feel like last year I was really mentally in a place that was like, oh, you know what? Like if I'm meant to, like opportunities will happen to me. They will come to me. And I was kind of living in a household last year where it was kind of like I was really easily influenced to like rest and kind of like, I don't want to say like, because rest is really, really important. Rest is just as important as taking action. And I feel like I was in a place where taking action wasn't really like normalized, I guess. It was just in my household, not in LA in general, but in my household. And I just feel like now that I'm entering in this new phase in my life, I'm realizing how important action is, and like how important like just doing little actions here and there that dedicate you towards your goals, just like in the slightest, like just 1% every single day, like Atomic Habits, which I need to reread that book. Like just taking little actions every single day that drive you forward. And it doesn't even have to be like something for your career. It can be like a hobby. It can be like, you know what? I'm going to run for 5 minutes today, and then 10 minutes next week, and then 15. And then, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I didn't look at action last year as something that was significant for a spiritual and career. Is careerial a word? Hold on. Because I've been saying careerial like multiple times, and I feel like I sound stupid. Damn it. That sucks. Careerial, I feel like it should be a word. Even in a career standpoint, I was just like, you know what? Like what I want will find me, this, that, and the third. And it's just like, for what depending on what you want to do, because I really feel like it depends on what you want to do or what you want to seek. Certain things take a lot of action and dedication and time. Just like allowing myself to rest when I know I need rest, but take action when I feel I'm ready to take action, you know? What is a moment where you felt closest to God? That's a really good question. I've had so many moments where I felt close to God, like, which I feel very grateful for. Anytime I'm surrounded by music, I feel the presence of God, because to me, music is just something so much more significant than just music. Like a concert's more than just a concert to me. It's it feels familiar. Like, I don't know. I feel close to God when I'm singing, when I see other people singing. I think the most recent moment I felt closest to God was when it was during New Year's. And I was on a substance. Okay, we're not going to say what substance. I entered in the new year with determination to building my music career. I truly feel like that I entered into this new year with so much excitement and passion and just pure bliss. I personally feel like New Year's, I was at LS Dream and Closy's set together, LZ. The ball just dropped and everyone was like, Happy New Year! And it was like so wild, so crazy. And that moment when the music started playing again and everything, I truly never felt so right. Like I felt so like exactly where I was meant to be. I felt exactly what I was meant to feel. I was listening to exactly what I felt like I needed to listen to. And I was receiving so much positive downloads through my body and through my brain. And I just never felt so for sure about something. I truly felt like I was being heard and received, and just really feel like that moment I had a for sure feeling of like what I was meant to do with my life and myself. And I feel like that's where I've struggled like spiritually the most, as to like, what am I meant to do? Like, what is my purpose here? Like, I don't know what I am meant to do. And I've struggled a lot with the fact that like I really want to pursue music, but really felt like in that moment I was finally listening, and I was finally able to accept that I wasn't receiving these callings for no reason. You know, like I was receiving these callings for a reason, and maybe the future will shift and maybe it won't be music specifically. Maybe it'll shift into something else, but I don't know. I won't know how to know that until I reach that point and follow my gut. And that moment truly felt like, oh yeah, I know what the fuck's up. And it just was so profound, and it was just so beautiful, and I was just so happy, and I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. How is your healing journey going? I say it's going great. Personally, I feel very excited for my healing journey. I love where it's headed. I feel like and correct me if I'm wrong, it's totally fine if you don't feel the same way. I would hope that what I'm being said doesn't mean I'm judging you either. Armpit. I feel like I had a weird moment in my spiritual journey where I don't want to say didn't believe in God. I've always believed in God. Like, I feel like I'm reaching a point in my spirituality where, God, the eyeliner looks so bad. Hold on. I feel like I'm reaching a moment in my journey where I'm going towards my Christian roots. And I'm quite happy because I'm looking at it through a new lens. Like, I really feel like I had to come to this point by myself. Like, I don't think me going to church a bunch of times would have made me like come to this revelation sooner. I don't think that this is everyone's path either. Like, I really don't think that every single person needs to turn to the Christian faith. But like, I feel like I've struggled with my relationship with religion in the past because I didn't feel accepted for my sexuality, and I didn't feel like wanted by the church, just mostly for my sexuality. It really was like a heavy burden on me, because when I was younger and I was going to church and I was confused on my sexuality, I really like bashed myself, and I really didn't like how the Christian faith made me feel about myself. And it was a big factor in why I turned to spirituality in the first place and not religion. Because when I went to church all the time, I wouldn't really consider myself religious at that time. Like I was going to youth group and stuff like that. Like, yeah, you know, I was listening to the songs and I was, you know, praying in the church and I was being respectful and everything, but I didn't feel God. Like, I feel like my relationship with God just wasn't thickening. It just wasn't really getting to a place that I felt like was spiritual. It just felt really forced. And no one was forcing me to do these things, by the way. Like, I really wanted to go to church and like I wanted to be a part of youth group. You know, I did these things. I don't even know if I wanted it. Maybe I did it for volunteer hours. I don't know. But I really did, like, I wanted to be straight and I wanted to just, like, be a cute Christian girl. Like, I really did. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, because I love cute Christian girls just like I love all kinds of girls. But as of recently, I feel like I've been being called to turn to God in ways that are more, like, appreciative of God's presence more than anything. And I feel like I looked at religion as something that was so like, that's like so ancient, like spirituality is the new wave of religion, like, you know. But like, truly, I look at all religion now as like just different ways for us to turn to God. Like, truly, at the end of the day, religion, like, we all have different names for him, or the universe even, you know, like we all have different names for this overall being, but I truly do feel like it's all the same God. When I turned to religion again recently, I look at it in a whole new light. I look at it so like, wow, like this is beautiful, that we can all come together as a community and just really honor God. You know, I just find it so beautiful that we all have each other, and it's like an outlet for us to turn to God and pray. And no matter how you look at it, as God as this like higher being above you, or if you look at God as something within you, or if you look at God as higher self, or if you look at God as the universe, or as Mother Earth, like I feel like there's so many different layers and forms of God, because God takes on all forms. I really feel like that religion is such a beautiful thing for us humans to each individually curate our own relationship with God. And I find it very exciting and beautiful and important that I am able to heal that part of me that has looked at religion as something so just like, not for me, like Bible, not for me, like no thank you. At first I looked at it as like, okay, this is what I have to do in order to like be forgiven so that I don't go to hell, you know. That's how I looked at it for a long time. And then I looked at it as like, why do I feel the need to be forgiven? What do you mean? Like, I make a mistake and that's okay. Like, what do you mean I can't have sex before marriage? Or what do you mean I can't like women? You know, it just, none of it ever really made sense to me. So that's why I decided to challenge those thoughts. And I decided to be like, no, you know what? No. I don't have to be forgiven for liking women. I don't have to be ashamed for having premarital sex or whatever. Like, I can have sex with as many people as I want, however I want, and with whomever I want. It was mostly sex. I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of how I viewed religion. I viewed it very like, if you're gonna shame me and make me feel ashamed for something that makes me feel good and beautiful and sexy, then like, I don't need you in my life, you know? So that's how I looked at religion for a long time. And then obviously moving to LA, you know, like low-key, nobody's religious there. So it was really easy to kind of like be distracted from the fact that like, you know, I was journaling and I was manifesting and I was, you know, living by the moon and doing the tarot cards and stuff in California. Since leaving, I feel a lot more clear-headed in the sense of like, I feel a lot more at peace. I feel very lucky that I can look at religion now and not in the way that I used to, because I didn't shame anyone for being religious. Never, ever, ever. I loved anyone and everyone that was religious. I didn't care. And anytime anybody wanted to talk to me about God, I was all ears. It's not like I was atheist or something. Like, I do and did believe in a God, but I just didn't believe in the God that the Christian faith was trying to implement. And now I look at it as that God's not any different than the God that I was praying to in California, you know, like, it's the same God. It's just now I can look at it in a newer, more beautiful form. And I can really, truly look at God in all forms and still consider it God. I really, really hope that at least some of that made sense. Because I don't want what I said to be taken offensively at all. I want what I said to be taken as something that's truly where my growth journey is at right now. Like, I'm truly healing the religious side of my spiritual journey that I neglected. Like, I neglected the religious God for so long because I was just like, I don't need him. I have my own. My own God is me. I am me. But like, then again, that adds so much pressure. Like, that adds so much pressure to you because then you feel like you are the one that's in control all the time. When in reality, no ma'am. Ignore my really shitty eyeliner, please. I don't know why I did eyeliner today and I fucked it up. But yeah, that's where my healing journey's at. I'm really proud of myself, and it's not perfect, you know? I have a stress pimple on my fucking face. I am nervous to go to school. I'm nervous to move out again. I'm nervous for so many things. And of course, like, just because I'm growing closer to God doesn't mean that everything's going to work out exactly how I want it to. But what I am, like, keeping in mind is the fact that things are going to work out how God has it planned. And things are going to work out how God has planned for my life. How my soul has planned for my life, you know? And I feel just jittery and excited and nervous and just all the normal feelings that you feel when you're a young 20s person. I feel like that took me forever to answer. I'm so sorry. What is your secret shaken espresso homemade recipe? I like this question. I'm going to put a little side video of what I do exactly. So I start off by obviously brewing my espresso, and then I mix it with some honey because I like my espresso sweet, and honey is like the best sweetener. I like the real earthy flavor that it gives the espresso. It's not just like sweet, you know, it's like sweetener. It's like, I don't even like using agave. Like, I like using honey because honey just adds a different kind of sweetness to it. So before I shake it, I add cinnamon on the ice because apparently that's what they do at Starbucks. And there was a period of time, still kind of am in that period of time, that I stopped going to Starbucks and I decided to make my shaken espressos at home. And I saw a TikTok a while ago that they put cinnamon on the ice. After I'm done shaking it up, I like to use the same ice, put creamer. So I put like some sort of flavored creamer or like a sweet cream or something like that. And then I put milk, preferably oat. I don't necessarily like almond milk in my coffees anymore. I'll do it if I have it, but I prefer oat milk in my coffee drinks. I better hurry up on my makeup because we don't have a lot of questions left. Oh, he's ready for dinner. That's why he's meowing. I swear, this cat, he did this to me yesterday too. He was like meowing at like 5:30 yesterday. And he's doing it again today. How does he know the time? I really hope that you catch him meowing. Tell the story of the first time you got high, weed and shrooms. First time I got high on weed, that I remember, I was with my ex at the time, my high school sweetheart. We were in his backyard and we were sitting on a lawn chair in the back, just like smoking a blunt or something like that. And I remember, like, he took a video of me. That's the only way that I remember this day. But I remember, like, we were about to go back into the house and I just remember, like, oh my gosh, no, don't open the door, there's a bug. And like, I had to remember if there was a bug. I truly couldn't tell you, like, if I was actually like tweaking or if there was actually a bug, because I hate bugs. But I just remember laughing so freaking hard because he was like recording me and I was like, oh my god, like, don't open the door, there's like a bug. I don't know if there was a bug, I don't remember, but I just remember something along the lines of like, don't open the door, there's a bug or something. And I was freaking out. I was like tweaking, but like in a funny way. It wasn't like tweaking like fucking actually scary tweaking. Like it was just a really giggly, it was a really giggly time. But that's the thing that with me is like, when I smoked the first few times, like, I didn't get high for some reason. I think it's because I didn't inhale properly. I don't know, but I just remember like the first 4 or 5 times I smoked, I didn't get high. And I was so confused. I was so mad. I was like, what the hell? And then that is the moment I remember smoking and actually like being high as fuck. I didn't really get high in high school. I would smoke and stuff after high school. Like, after high school was when I turned 18 is when I actually started like smoking actively. But I don't know, I just feel like, fuck, did I put on the wrong eye again? Every time I do these lashes specifically, I always put it on the wrong eye. That was the first time with weed that I remember getting like really fucking high. And then shrooms, I was with the same partner and we took these shrooms. I think it was penis envy or something. Not very interesting stories, but we took these shrooms and we watched Rango because we thought that Rango would be like a cool movie to like trip to. And then we were watching Rango and then we reached the end of the movie and like nothing happened. We were like, what the hell? Like, did we just waste all of these shrooms? Like, what the fuck? And then we left the house and we decided to go outside. And dude, as soon as we went outside, like as soon as I was touching fucking grass, I knew I was on shrooms. Like, I knew it. I was like, wow, that's what this feels like. Like, it wasn't smoking weed at all. It wasn't even anything in the slightest. It was shrooms. And I wasn't tripping. I was tripping, but I wasn't tweaking. I was having a really good trip and the clouds were looking so amazing and the trees were doing that thing that the trees do when you're on shrooms. And it was a beautiful experience. And we both were just like sitting in silence, just like looking at a lake. We truly felt like we needed to be outside. And that's the only way I can do shrooms now. Like, I'll do shrooms inside a house, but then at some point during my trip, I'm gonna have to go outside. Like, I need to go outside. And it just feels so right to do a substance like that and be outside, because I really feel like you're able to actually engulf in the full experience that the medicine is trying to show you if you are involved in the elements in some way, whether it be grass, water, what other element? Maybe not fire, but there is so much beauty to doing the plant surrounded by nature, doing the medicine. What country are you interested in visiting? I really want to visit Bali. Bali's a country, right? Yeah. Or is Bali part of Bali, Indonesia? Indonesia? Okay, it's in Indonesia. Yeah, so I want to go to Bali in Indonesia. Indonesia? Sorry if I'm sounding so American. I can't stand it. I am just obsessed with... Oh, please don't do me like this. It just feels like such a spiritual place. And I also really want to go to India. I really, really, really want to go to India on like a yoga retreat or something. Like, I really feel like I would find a lot of profound revelations in my life if I went to India. But I feel that same way about Bali too, you know. I really want to go to those fountains in Bali where you can like, they're like fortress fountains or something, but they look so gorgeous and I really, really want to go to them. So Bali or Indonesia, whatever, India, those are the places I want to go. I want to go to those places because I feel like I would have such a very spiritual experience in either of those places. I need to check my astrocartography, but those places feel right. So does South Africa. South Africa, I felt called to South Africa since I was in middle school. And I would always say, I'm from South Africa, I'm from South Africa. But like, it was always a joke, you know? And then my aunt recently went to South Africa and she just had the best time, and she just seemed to have she's super religious and she seemed to have a very spiritual experience there. So I don't know, I feel like I don't know much about my Black side of my family, but I would love to learn more about like my lineage on my dad's side and experience like where my ancestry is from. It's just something I've always been really curious about, but I don't know much about. So I really hope that at some point in the near future, I can be able to learn more about my family lineage. It's important to me. That way that I can honor my ancestors in the right way. What's one small thing you think could help transform the lives of stubborn people? A part of me wants to say yoga and meditation. Truly. Because as of the person that I am and who I was in the beginning of my journey, I feel like those two things have truly, truly changed my outlook on life because of the intention that I would use going into the practice. Like, yoga is just stretching, but when you actually take time to study the practice of yoga, it's more than, does that say 58 minutes? Oh my God. Whenever you actually take the time to study and analyze the structure of yoga, it is more than just stretching, you know, and it takes a while to get to that point. That's why, and also with meditation, it takes a while to get to that point in meditation where you can sit and meditate and feel the presence of God, or whatever you prefer to call our higher source. So that's why I want to say those things, but it's really interesting because some people do those things and still aren't transformed. I don't know. I feel like certain people do those things, and you might even do those things and still feel like that there's something that you need to change or fix in your life. So for me, like, reading books has truly also been another factor in changing my life, because I love reading books. I love reading into other people's thoughts and how they have been able to program this life in such a profound way. And I love being able to be like, fuck, like, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this, or I don't know how, I can't keep thinking like this. I can't keep living like this, you know? Like, there's definitely a book out there for you and for people like you. And maybe not just even a book, but making sure that you're listening to something or reading something that's actually making you feel good about yourself from the inside out. And I feel like it might make you a little less hard-headed.
It's Bailey from the future. There's something that I want to add to this question or my answer. I feel like stubborn people hold on to things, and I feel like stubborn people are really prone not letting things go. And I really want to mention that stubborn bodies need to release and need to just let go of things that they're holding on to. And they need to write it out, talk it out, sing it out, run it out, work it out, stretch it out. I really feel like people that are stubborn hold on to things. They hold on to trauma more. They hold on to experiences and people, and they don't even really notice that they're holding on to it. It's just coming out as anger or resentment, or it's feelings that are coming out that are pretty much considered stubborn. And I'm not saying this is the person that answered this question. I'm not saying that you are these things. I'm saying if you are a stubborn person and you relate to this question, then I feel like that has a part to play in the making of your stubbornness. And it's okay, because if you are a stubborn soul and you do feel a little resentment towards someone or a situation, or maybe even something that you did for yourself, really just forgiving and letting things go, and really just like honing in on what you're forgiving and why you're forgiving, and releasing those feelings that are pent up inside of you, and not holding a fist, and just being able to I like that answer better.
Just finding something that's your outlet for true like relaxation, but also another way to like let things go. Like just let things go. And that can be through yoga. You can let go of things because we hold it in our hips or in our back or in our lower back, like we hold things, different parts of our bodies, so doing yoga can really help release some of those emotions. You might be tense because you're stressed, or meditation. Maybe sometimes you just need to meditate on what is making you feel so like stubborn and tense. Like, why do I feel so like reading about it, reading how other so-called stubborn or hard-headed people transformed into light and energetic and just pure peaceful people. I feel like there are books and there are practices out there that obviously it's not going to change in a day, but there's practices that you can do every single day that can really help transform you. And even like journaling, honestly, like I hate to say it, not hate. I know these are like very basic things that I feel like anyone can really be like told to do, I guess, or they kind of don't want to do these things because they're very like new age, whatever. But like I truly feel like these are the things that have helped me and millions of people on this planet, and it's just so profound how much these things actually do help. Last question, top 3 breakfasts of all time. Breakfast is crazy. Breakfast is my favorite fucking meal of the day, so that's why I love that you asked breakfast specifically. I love me some eggs, sunny side up or scrambled, with like cheese of some sort, mostly feta cheese, because I feel like feta is so good on eggs, truly. So I would recommend feta cheese on, well, I don't know why I'm saying recommend. That's what I like. I'm having sausage these past couple days, but I don't normally eat sausage. If I'm gonna be honest, I'm not normally a sausage girly. I do like bacon, but I also have been trying to like eat less processed meats, just for the sake of my future. But there are days that I fall short, and I do have bacon or sausage. So today I had sausage. I always have eggs with avocado and then some sort of like fruit. I've been having less bread just because I feel like I'm not having no bread. I'm just having less bread, like I'm just watching how much bread and like carbs I consume, and I want to be choosy. And I feel like I would like rather have pizza later on in the night instead of like having bread with my breakfast, kind of like where I'm like, I pick and choose my carb intake. So yeah, like I'll have some eggs with avocado, fruit, and then cheese, and then a breakfast meat sometimes. Sometimes I'll have just fruit, blueberries, strawberries. Sometimes, and I don't recommend this to anyone, but this is just my honest truth, sometimes I'll just have coffee in the morning, truly, and then it's like 1 p.m. and I'm like, well, I can make breakfast, but I would prefer like lunch. So, but I'm always like, whenever I go out to eat for the third thing, I'm such a breakfast sandwich hoe. Can't get over a breakfast sandwich. Like every time I go out, breakfast sandwich and potatoes is like, this is my first time using this gloss. I don't know if I like it, but it's too late. Anytime I go out to a breakfast place, I'm always influenced by a nice bagel sandwich. Like I can't get over it. Those with those little seasoned home fried potatoes. And I truly feel that I will never not be a sandwich hoe. So I love French toast and pancakes and all that stuff. But like for some reason, a savory breakfast to me is just the way to go. I don't know. But you know, First Watch has those cinnamon roll pancakes. Or is that First Watch? No, some breakfast place has cinnamon roll pancakes and it is literally the best thing ever. And don't get me wrong, I love me a cinnamon roll every now and again. Those are my top 3 breakfasts, I gotta say. Breakfast sandwich, eggs, avocado, fruit, and cheese. And then sometimes just berries and coffee. Like it really depends on my mood. Well, that is it for the end of my video, guys. Do you like my makeup? It's okay if you don't. I'm not 100% on it, honestly. Like, I feel like I've done so much better. I'm, like, kind of embarrassed, but I wanted to do eyeliner today because I wanted to answer all these questions, so I had to do something that was a little more time-consuming, and then it ended up not looking that good. It's okay. Hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. I had so much fun. Or even put down in the comments some questions, and then I'll save them for another Q&A. Maybe I'll do like a smoke with me kind of Q&A. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really want to make more interactive videos. Like, I don't know, I want you guys to ask me juicy questions. I want to be asked like book recommendations and just, yeah, I just want to interact with you guys more often. I feel like I do a lot of like my own stuff, but I don't know what people want to see. So just let me know what you guys like want to see. I really want to know like the tea. I don't know. So yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this is long as hell, but I hope you enjoyed, and talk to you guys soon.